I was speaking at an event a little while back, and when I got off stage, a woman came over to me and she introduced herself and asked me this question about how I start my team meetings. Like specifically, what do I say and how do I guide the conversation? And that wasn't something that I was speaking about when I was on stage that day, but I run the leadership team meetings in each one of my companies every single day. So it's ingrained in me how I open the meetings and the mindset that I have and the outcome that I'm looking for. So I told her exactly how I start our meetings. And that was basically it. She thanked me. She walked away, and I went on to the next person that was next to me with a question. Now, fast forward about 2 or 3 months, and I'm at another event, completely different event. And afterwards, I'm sitting down to dinner with the promoter, and there's 2 other people with us at the table. And out of the corner of my eye, I happened to notice the same woman from this past event was sitting at another table. Now, this was not a dinner where everybody from the event went to that dinner. It was just a random restaurant that we chose to go to, and coincidentally, this lady was there. So I see her out of the corner of my eye, and I get up and I walk over to her, and I simply say something like, "Hey, we changed how we start our meetings, and I remember that that was important to you. And it made such a big difference inside of my companies that I wanted to kind of share it with you right now." And I told her the change that we made. And then that was basically it. She thanked me. I walked back to the table. I sat down. Now, about an hour later, we were finished with dinner and we're just sitting there having a cup of coffee. And she comes walking over to the table and asks if she could join us. And she sat there and she thanked me for remembering her. And she said, "It's so funny because I saw you first and I didn't think that you'd recognize me. So I figured I'd wait for you to finish dinner before I came over to say hello. But I have to tell you what happened after you left the table." And she said, "After you left the table, the only thought in my head was how cool it was that you remembered me and the conversation that we had months back, and also how kind it was that you gave me an update," right? And she said, "But what was really weird was that everybody else at the table heard the exact same conversation, and immediately after you left, the only takeaway that they had was that, wow, that guy's life must be so empty that he remembers one person that he met at an event months ago." And that kept coming up. And she said, it kept coming up so much that I had to politely excuse myself and leave the conversation because she said, "I can't have people like that talking into my life." Now, I didn't know much about this lady other than the fact that she must attend business events on a regular basis. But it turns out she's got a pretty freaking large insurance company. And everybody else sitting at her table, everybody else there was just starting a business or thinking about getting into business. So it's amazing how different the mindset is between successful people who build things in their life, compared to the small mindset of people who criticize others. And I don't think people become small-minded because of their circumstances. I think their circumstances are created because they're small-minded. Her mindset was probably always full of gratitude and growth, which is why she runs a large company with hundreds of employees. And it's also why the other people at her table, who she did not even know before that night, in fact, she met them online at the restaurant and decided to share a table just because they saw each other at the event earlier that day. But those people have small businesses probably because they have small mindsets, meaning they're not grateful for the people or the opportunities that come their way. And I'll bet you know people like that too, who have passed up on opportunities because they thought there was something better that they needed to wait for. But the level of life that you're at right now, or that you will ever be at, is all about 2 things. The people you surround yourself with, because those people will talk into your life and they'll either talk greatness or they'll talk struggle. And the second thing is the opportunities that you take advantage of. And I'm not telling you to chase shiny objects or to jump on every potential opportunity to make a buck, but you need to know where you're going in life. And then every opportunity that takes you 1 inch closer to that goal, you need to take it. Because the next opportunity that only opens up after you're 1 inch closer to your goal, those opportunities are completely different than what you have in front of you right this second. And success is about inches. It's not about waiting for opportunities to take you from poverty to success overnight. That's chasing shiny objects. That's falling for everything that you see gurus online telling you to do. In business and in life, the most successful people spend more time getting clear, crystal clear on the goal and why you want that goal and why you're committed to achieving that goal, and then getting to work. And the people you need in your life will come into your life. And the information you need to hit your goal will present itself. As long as you stay focused on your goal, all the bullshit information that you hear around you will sound like bullshit because your common sense will filter it out. And the few golden nuggets that you come across will sound like gold. And you'll learn from them, and you will move 1 inch closer every single day. And after a year, you'll be miles ahead, and you'll look back on all your friends who are still sitting at the table criticizing others.